to video 7. Today we're going to be talking about historical changes that have occurred over the past 200 and something years dealing with the power of the president. So we're going to start off with constitutional changes. So we know that we can amend the Constitution of the United States through a very long and drawn out process. But over time, we have amended the Constitution a few times dealing specifically with the president. The 12th Amendment, which was passed in the 1800s, is the amendment that changes the way that presidents are elected using the Electoral College process. So the 12th Amendment requires that the Electoral College vote separately on the president and the vice president. Okay, so they get a separate ballot for president than they do for vice president. Okay, so before the 12th Amendment, the person who won the most electoral votes became president, and the person who came in second became vice president. So you can imagine if we still utilize that today, that could be a very interesting situation. So the 12th Amendment said that presidents and vice presidents have to be voted on separately in the Electoral College. We also have the 22nd Amendment, and the 22nd Amendment we know is called the FDR Amendment because this is the amendment that limits presidents to serving no more than 2 terms or a total of 10 years in office. Okay, so you can be president twice, you can seek 2 terms in office. The 25th Amendment is another amendment that deals specifically with the powers of the presidency. And this one tells us a couple of things. It tells us that if a president dies or resigns or is removed from office before the end of their term, then their vice president becomes president. Okay, so there was some question before this. It's like, does the vice president actually become president or are they just acting president? Like, how does it work? But the 25th Amendment tells us that if something happens to the president, the vice president becomes president. Okay. The 25th Amendment also has a specific section that says if the president is incapacitated, then the vice president assumes the responsibilities of the president. So incapacitated could mean they're having surgery or they're somehow under anesthesia or maybe they're super sick, something like that would trigger the 25th Amendment. Okay. We've also seen some legislative changes in the power of the presidency. And the big change that we want to look at today is the War Powers Act. And this was passed in 1973. And the War Powers Act deals specifically with the president's authority to send troops into combat. Okay. So the War Powers Resolution says that there's a few different components, so you may want to get ready. The War Powers Resolution says that the president has to tell Congress about sending troops into combat within 48 hours. The War Powers Act also says that Congress has to approve what the president is doing within 60 days. And if they don't approve it, then the president has 30 days to bring the troops home. Okay. So by approving the sending the troops into combat, that could basically mean, okay, we're going to go ahead and fund it. We're going to give you money for it, or we're going to declare war. Okay. But if Congress doesn't approve it, they don't declare war, the president's got to bring the troops home. Okay. And another change in the power of the presidency dealing with the legislative branch deals with executive privilege. And we've talked about that before, that in the wild card clause, it says the executive power of the United States is invested in a president, but we don't know what executive power is and what it isn't. So presidents have used that broad power for many reasons. And one of them is to declare executive privilege, to say, I don't have to tell you because I'm the president and I don't want to. So Congress has, over the years, basically said that if you want to withhold information from us that we need, then it really has to be like a matter of national security and really not even that. So basically, executive privilege, not super much, not really a thing. I will go ahead and stop there and we will discuss these in class. If you guys have any questions, let me know.